Welcome to Silver Narratives. Today, I want to speak to you honestly, in a calm and clear way. This is not the kind of video where I say, here are 5 tips to change your life, and then disappear. This is not short motivation that feels good for 10 minutes and then fades away. What we are talking about today is deeper and more real. It is about the difference between a peaceful life and a painful one. We live in a world where many people want a reaction from you. Some insult you to control you. Some ignore you to hurt you. Some spread lies just to see you lose balance. Most people react immediately, with anger, emotion, and loud words. In that moment, they lose their peace, their control, and their inner power. Sadly, many people never realize how much damage their reactions cause. One argument can destroy a friendship. One message can end a relationship. One moment of anger can change a whole life. So today, I ask you to slow down and truly listen. If you understand what I am about to share, you will become a different kind of person. You will not just survive, you will become calm, strong, focused, and peaceful. Not because life becomes easy, but because you stop allowing the world to control your mind. This video is not only for people who want success. It is for people who are tired of being broken by emotions. It is for those who are ready to take their power back. Stay with me until the end, and I promise you will learn a kind of strength that most people never learn in their entire lives. And remember, this video is also for learning English. Every word is simple. Every sentence builds clarity and strength. It is not only about speaking better English, it is about thinking better and living better. Lesson 1: Reacting means they control you. Let's begin Lesson 1. When someone can press a button and make you angry, they are controlling you. When one sentence can change your whole mood, you lose your power. If you allow someone's insult, silence, or opinion to shake your emotions, you are no longer in charge of your life. You become like a puppet, and your emotions are the strings. Many people believe that reacting quickly means they are strong, but this is not true. Reacting fast does not mean power, it means you are easy to manipulate. Every time you react without thinking, you give away something very precious: your peace, your energy, and your inner strength. Think about your own life for a moment. How many moments were ruined because you reacted too fast? How many times did you speak in anger to someone you loved and later feel regret? How many messages did you send while angry and then wish you could take them back? This is what emotional slavery looks like. You may not see chains on your hands, but your emotions are being controlled by the world around you. The most dangerous part is that many people do not even realize it is happening. Let me share a simple example. There was once a young man working in an office. He was hardworking, honest, and always stayed late to finish his tasks. One day, during a team meeting, his manager criticized him in front of everyone. The criticism was unfair and not true. In that moment, the young man exploded. He shouted, argued, and tried to defend himself. The room went silent. The meeting ended in tension. Later, the manager calmly walked away. From that day on, the young man was remembered as the emotional guy, not the hard-working or intelligent one. One reaction destroyed the image he had built for years. He did not win, he lost, because he allowed someone else to control his response. Now comes the solution, the 5-second rule that can change everything. Strong people pause. The next time someone disrespects you, lies to you, ignores you, or insults you, do nothing at first. Don't speak. Don't react. Just breathe. Inhale and exhale slowly for 5 seconds. In those 5 seconds, you take back the one thing no one should ever control, yourself. When you pause, something powerful happens. The emotion begins to fade. The fire starts to calm. Your brain begins to think instead of burn. You can still respond if needed, but now your words will be strong, not foolish, and your actions will be wise, not emotional. This one small habit, this single pause, has the power to change your entire life. In relationships, in business, in arguments, and in family drama, this lesson applies everywhere. When you choose not to react, you are not weak. You are powerful. You are untouchable. You are free. Power is not shown by shouting or proving a point. Power is shown by control. This brings us to part 2, lesson 2, most reactions become regrets, a lesson many people learn only after they have lost something important. There are moments in life we wish we could erase forever. One message sent in anger. One harsh word spoken without thinking. One shout that crossed a line. These moments are often created by fear, stress, or wounded pride. And the truth is this: you do not carry the insult someone gave you, you carry the way you reacted to it. You do not carry the failure itself, you carry the way you broke down when it happened. You do not carry the problem, you carry the emotional explosion that followed. People often believe that reacting quickly means being honest or real, but fast reactions usually come from pain, not strength. Reacting is what we do when we feel threatened and are trying to survive. Growing, on the other hand, requires calm and awareness. We raise our voices when we feel small inside. We blame others when we feel weak. We fight when we feel hurt and misunderstood. In the heat of the moment, reacting feels right, even necessary. But when the moment passes, a heavy silence follows. Guilt replaces anger. Shame replaces pride. Regret replaces relief. We replay the scene in our minds and say, "I should have stayed quiet. I should have taken a breath. I should have walked away." Sadly, by then, the damage is often done. Reactions cannot be taken back. Words cannot be unsaid. Actions do not disappear. And people rarely forget how you made them feel. Think deeply about this. How many people have you slowly pushed away because you reacted too fast? How many small arguments turned into big breaks? How many relationships could have survived if you had paused for just a few seconds? How many peaceful days were destroyed because you allowed one bad moment to control your emotions? And here is the most painful truth of all: sometimes, we only understand the value of what we lost when there is no way to repair it. There was once a woman who loved her younger sister with all her heart. They shared secrets, laughter, and dreams. They supported each other through hard times and celebrated each other's successes. One day, during a stressful family situation, a small disagreement turned into a heated argument. Words were spoken in anger, words that were never meant to hurt but did. Pride stopped both of them from apologizing. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into years. The bond that once felt unbreakable slowly faded. Later in life, the woman realized that the real loss was not the argument itself, but her reaction in that moment. One emotional response cost her years of closeness, love, and peace. This is why learning not to react is one of the most important skills in life. When you pause, you protect your future. When you stay calm, you protect your relationships. When you control your emotions, you protect your peace. And for you, as an English learner, remember this: these simple sentences are not only teaching you language, they are teaching you clarity, patience, and strength. At Silver Narratives, we are not just helping you speak better English. We are helping you think better, live better, and choose peace over regret. But one day, during a family gathering, something changed. In front of everyone, the younger sister made a sarcastic comment about a sensitive issue, something that touched an old wound, something that still hurt deeply. In that moment, the woman lost control. She exploded. She shouted in front of the whole family. She said words she could never take back. Some of those words were not even true. They were filled with old pain, buried emotions, and years of unspoken hurt. The room went silent. No one knew what to say. The sister quietly stood up and left. Days passed. Then weeks. But the relationship never returned to what it once was. Years later, that woman often looked at an old photo of the two of them together and cried. She did not cry because of what her sister had said. She cried because of how she had reacted. One moment. One emotional reaction. A lifetime of regret. This is the true cost of reacting without control. So what is the solution? Train yourself to respond, not react. This is not easy. It is a mindset. It is a muscle. It is a daily discipline. When something painful happens, practice saying this one sentence in your mind: this emotion is real, but this reaction is a choice. Yes, you feel hurt. Yes, it feels unfair. Yes, you want to scream. But don't. Pause. Close your mouth. Still your body. Let the emotion rise, but do not move. Feel the anger. Feel the sadness. Feel the fear, but do it in silence. Name the feeling. Then ask yourself, am I reacting to this moment, or to something old that still lives inside me? Wait. 10 minutes. 1 hour. Even one full day if needed. Then, and only then, respond. Respond with truth, with calm, and with power. This single habit can save relationships. It can protect your peace. It can shape your future. Reacting may feel strong in the moment, but peace is stronger. And peace never creates regret. This leads us to Part 3, Lesson 3, Silence is a superpower. The world loves noise. People are always talking, arguing, explaining, and justifying themselves. Everyone wants to prove they are right. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to look strong. But here is a truth you rarely hear: the strongest people are not the loudest ones. They are the quiet ones. They do not need to speak to prove their value. Silence is often misunderstood, but in reality, it is one of the greatest forms of power. Many people believe that silence is weakness. They think if you are quiet, you are scared. They think if you walk away, you have lost. But the truth is the complete opposite. It takes far more strength to stay calm than to shout. It takes more wisdom to walk away than to argue. And it takes real power to say nothing when everything inside you wants to fight back. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is control. Silence is focus. Silence is dignity. When you stay silent, something interesting happens. People cannot read you. They do not know what you are thinking. They do not know what your next move will be. They do not know if they hurt you, or if you have already won. That mystery itself becomes power. Noise gives people access to your emotions. Silence protects them. Let me give you an example. There was a man who was publicly humiliated on social media by a former friend. False stories were shared. Screenshots were twisted. His character was attacked in front of everyone. People expected him to fight back. They waited for him to post his side, to go live, to explain himself, to defend his name. But he did nothing. He stayed silent. Many people called him weak, a coward, even guilty. Still, he said nothing. 6 months later, the truth came out on its own. Another person exposed the lies. The friend who spread the rumors was revealed for who he truly was. Suddenly, the man's silence was no longer seen as weakness. It was seen as dignity, class, and strength. While others were shouting, he was winning quietly. So here is the lesson: use silence as a weapon, not a weakness. You do not need to respond to every insult. You do not need to explain yourself to people who have already decided what they believe. You do not need to post, defend, or fight for your dignity. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing and let your silence speak louder than words ever could. Here is how to use silence as power. In conflict, calmly say, "I understand," and walk away. Do not argue, let their own words expose them. In drama, do not join the noise. Step back and allow the truth to rise on its own. In moments of disrespect, do not shout, do not cry, and do not explain. Look them in the eyes, stay calm, and say nothing. That silence carries more strength than any argument ever will. People will notice your calm. And when they do, you win, not by reacting, but by rising above. This brings us to part 4, lesson 4, not everything deserves your energy. One of the greatest mistakes you can make in life is trying to fight every battle. Defending yourself in every argument. Proving your worth to every critic. Responding to every message, every insult, every misunderstanding. It sounds brave, but in reality, this habit slowly destroys your energy, your peace, your focus, and even your future. Here is the truth you must understand: not everything is worth your time. Not everyone deserves a reaction from you. And not every problem needs your emotional investment. You have limited energy each day. Every time you give it to the wrong person or the wrong situation, you have less left for the things that truly matter. When you give your energy to gossip, you lose energy for your goals. When you give your energy to hate, you lose energy for love. When you pour your energy into what drains you, you later wonder why you feel empty inside. Some people do not want understanding or peace. They want your reaction. They want to see you disturbed, triggered, and broken because it feeds their ego. If you keep stepping into their chaos, you will never have the strength to build your own life. Let me share an example. There was a college student, bright, disciplined, and focused. She studied late into the night, worked hard, and dreamed of a better future. One day, someone spread a lie about her. They said she cheated on a test. Whispers started. People looked at her differently. Some stopped talking to her completely. She was angry and hurt. She wrote long posts online, trying to explain herself. She tried to convince everyone of her truth. At night, she cried, wondering why no one believed her. Weeks passed. She lost her focus. She stopped studying. She stopped dreaming. Bitterness replaced hope. All of this happened because she gave her energy to something she should have walked away from. Years later, she said something heartbreaking: "I didn't lose because of what they said. I lost because I tried to fix what didn't matter. She could have stayed silent. She could have let her actions speak. But instead, she gave her energy to people who never deserved it. So here is the solution: learn to protect your energy like it is gold. Each morning, create a simple list in your mind: what deserves my energy today? If something is not on that list, walk away from it. Do not fight small battles. You are not here to win arguments. You are here to build a peaceful, meaningful life. You are here to win your life, not to win every argument. Stop explaining yourself to people who are already committed to misunderstanding you. If someone has already judged you, your words will not change their mind. Respond only where growth is possible. If a conversation does not help you rise, it is a trap. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. You do not have to show up for every fight you are invited to. Peace is not found in winning every battle. Peace is found in knowing which battles are not worth fighting at all. This leads us to Part 5, Lesson 5, the one who stays calm wins. The world respects people who remain calm when everything around them is falling apart. Calm people are trusted. Calm people are respected. Calm people make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and live more powerful lives. Why? Because when you stay calm, you keep your power. When you stay calm, you see clearly. When you stay calm, you naturally become the leader in the room, even if you say nothing. Most people live like storms. They shout, panic, cry, blame, and react. They lose control and then wonder why nothing works in their lives. But the person who stays calm becomes the opposite of the storm. They become the stillness that quiets the chaos. Calmness does not mean you feel no pain. It means you have learned how to hold pain with strength, not with panic. Let me share a powerful example. There was once a man on a crowded train. Suddenly, another man entered the compartment, drunk, angry, pushing people, shouting wildly. The atmosphere became tense. Some people shouted back. Some moved away. Others took out their phones to record. But one old man remained still, calm, and unshaken. The angry man approached him, ready to fight. The old man looked him in the eyes and said softly, "Whatever happened to you today, I'm sorry it brought you this far." The drunk man froze. His fists slowly dropped. His eyes softened. He sat down and began to cry. The entire train fell silent. One calm man had changed the energy of the whole room. He did not react. He did not fight. He understood something others did not. Calm people know this truth: not every storm outside needs to become a storm inside. So here is the solution: build the discipline of calmness. Calmness is not natural. It must be trained, just like a warrior trains for battle. One simple place to start is your breath. Breathe deeply and often. Breathing is not just a habit, it is a tool. When you slow your breath, you slow your mind. When you control your breath, you regain control of yourself. Calmness begins there. It is a weapon. When your body is calm, your mind begins to listen. Calmness gives you space to observe before you speak. It allows you to let people reveal who they truly are and lets situations unfold naturally. Then, and only then, you respond with strategy, not emotion. Before you act, detach emotionally and ask yourself one simple question: am I acting from truth, or am I acting from pain? If it is pain, wait. If it is truth, proceed. Train calmness in small moments. A spilled cup of coffee. A delayed train. A rude message. These are not accidents, they are your training sessions. The more you practice calmness in small storms, the more prepared you will be when life brings the big ones. Remember this: anyone can scream. Anyone can cry. Anyone can panic. But the person who can sit in the fire, still see clearly, still speak gently, and still move wisely, that person wins. Life follows the calm mind, not the loud one. This brings us to part 6, lesson 6, reaction is habit, response is power. Most people do not realize this truth. They are not reacting because they are angry in that moment. They are reacting because they have always reacted. Reacting has become a habit, automatic, emotional, and unexamined. When something becomes a habit, you stop questioning it. You simply do it. Someone disrespects you, and you fight back. Someone ignores you, and you feel broken. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and you shout. You never pause to ask, do I need to react to this? You react because that is what you have trained yourself to do. Here is the powerful truth: reaction is automatic, response is intentional. And only one of them leads to peace, success, respect, and real power. A reaction is fast, emotional, and uncontrolled. It comes from a wounded place inside you. A response is calm, clear, and conscious. It comes from a strong place within you. A person who reacts is like a volcano, loud, wild, and destructive. But a person who responds is like the ocean, deep, steady, and untouchable. Ask yourself honestly today, are you reacting like a machine, or are you responding like a master? Those who respond rule their lives. Those who react are ruled by their emotions. Let me share an example. There was once a young man who worked as a waiter in a busy restaurant. He was kind, focused, and always respectful. One evening, a rich customer walked into the restaurant, rude, entitled, and impatient. He clicked his fingers, snapped orders, and when his food was slightly delayed, he shouted across the room, "Are you deaf, stupid, or just lazy?" The entire restaurant froze. Everyone expected the young man to react, to defend himself, to fight back. But he didn't. He looked at the man, smiled gently, and with calm, steady eyes said, "Sir, I'm doing my best. If that's not enough for you today, I understand. But I will continue to serve you with respect, because that is who I am." The room went silent. The customer, who had entered looking powerful, suddenly looked small. The waiter, who seemed powerless, now stood tall. The manager watched everything and offered the young man a promotion that same night. Why? Because he understood what most people never learn: reaction is instinct, response is wisdom. Now let's go deeper. Why do we react so strongly? The real reason is this: we react when we are unaware of our wounds. If you were ignored as a child, you may overreact to being ignored now. If you were once humiliated, you may overreact to even small disrespect. If you were abandoned, you may overreact to distance in relationships. So often, your reaction is not about the person in front of you. It is about the pain inside you that was never healed. Until you understand this, you will keep reacting to things that do not deserve your pain. You will keep giving your peace to situations that do not deserve your attention. So here is the solution: turn reaction into awareness, and awareness into response. You can break the habit. You can reprogram your mind. Start with this: Pause before everything, even if it is just one breath. Take it. That single breath breaks the automatic chain. And in that small space, power lives. Then ask yourself one honest question: is this about now, or is this about something old? Many times, the emotion you feel is not about the present moment. It is a memory, a wound, a trigger. Next, respond with truth, not emotion. Truth is strong. Emotion is unstable. Speak only when your truth is clear and your heart is calm. Practice this daily, even in small moments. Train yourself when someone cuts you off in traffic. Train yourself when a friend forgets to reply. Train yourself when life feels unfair. Every moment is practice. Every breath is a chance to become stronger. The world does not need more people who react. It needs more people who respond. Because the people who stay calm, who choose awareness over anger, who think before they speak and feel before they act, those are the people who rise. Those are the people who lead. Those are the people who are remembered, not for their noise, but for their grace. And now the question is yours: will you keep reacting from the pain of your past, or will you start responding from the strength of your future? This brings us to part 7, lesson 7, if you want peace, let go of ego. There is a reason so many people suffer in silence. It is not always because of pain. It is not always because of fear. It's not even about others most of the time. Most of the time, it's about ego, that silent, invisible voice inside you that says, they should have treated me better. I need to prove I was right. I deserve more respect. They don't see my value, and that hurts. The ego whispers, I can't let them win. And so you react. You respond. You fight. You explain. Not because it is necessary, but because your ego is burning for attention. But here's the truth: ego is not your power, it is your prison. It is the reason you stay stuck, angry, bitter, and unfree. Ego wants to be seen, loved, admired, respected, and praised all the time. But the world will not always give you these things. And when the ego panics, you react. You shout in arguments because your ego says, they can't talk to me like that. You reply to hateful comments because your ego says, they don't know who I am. You feel the need to explain yourself in every fight because your ego says, I must defend myself. Here is the deeper truth: nobody really needs to hear your defense. You do not need to prove what is already real. You do not need to be loud to be right. The moment you drop the ego, you rise. Ego lives in pain. Your soul lives in peace. Let me share an example. There was a man who spent years working for a company. He gave everything: his time, his health, his loyalty. One day, without warning, the company replaced him. No apology. No gratitude. Nothing. Rage filled him. His ego screamed, how could they do this to me? Don't they know who I am? I gave them everything. He wanted to go public, expose the company, take revenge. But before he did anything, he spoke to his grandmother, a woman who had lived through wars, betrayals, and poverty, yet carried peace in her eyes. She said, my child, listen carefully. You don't heal by proving others wrong. You heal by proving to yourself that their actions will not control your future. Those words changed him forever. He didn't fight. He didn't attack. He walked away in silence, with dignity and clarity. 6 months later, he started his own company quietly and consistently. Years later, he became more successful than the very people who had betrayed him. Why? Because he let go of ego and held on to peace. So why does ego make you react? Because ego is loud. Ego cannot accept disrespect. Ego cannot tolerate rejection. Ego cannot survive silence. Every time someone challenges your worth, forgets your value, or walks away without explanation, your ego explodes. But here's the danger: ego wants revenge. Your soul wants freedom. If you keep choosing ego, you will keep losing peace. You will react to every comment. You will argue with every fool. True strength is not in proving yourself, it is in letting go, staying calm, and rising above. Peace always wins where ego fails. You'll destroy relationships if you fight every battle just to win temporary wars. And when those wars end, what do you have left? Only your ego, and no peace. The solution: kill ego, choose peace, every single time. This is the most important part. You cannot master your emotions if you do not confront your ego. The moment you feel the urge to prove, to fight, to attack, or to explain, pause. Ask yourself, is this my soul speaking, or is my ego screaming? Let people be wrong about you. It is hard, but it is powerful. Not everyone deserves access to your truth. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk. You do not owe anyone a version of yourself that makes them comfortable. Stop fighting to be right. The need to be right is often what keeps us trapped in the wrong energy. Ask yourself, what is more important, being right or being at peace? Choose silence when your ego wants to scream. The next time someone disrespects you and the fire rises inside, breathe, smile, and walk away, not because you are weak, but because you are no longer ruled by something as fragile as ego. Remember, your worth is not a debate. You do not need to react to prove it. You do not need to speak to protect it. You simply need to live it, with calmness, clarity, and quiet confidence. When you let go of ego, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing validation. You stop reacting to noise. You stop proving your worth. And for the first time, you feel light. You feel free. You feel unshakable. Peace does not live in the loud, it lives in the still, in the calm, in the quiet heart that no longer needs to win every argument. That is the kind of strength most people never find, but you just did. Now choose it. Not once. Not twice. But every day. The less you need to react, the more power you truly have. The less ego you carry, the more peace you will feel, forever. Now you know the truth, you do not need to react to everything. You do not need to fight every battle. You do not need to prove your worth to people who never saw it in the first place. You do not need to carry the noise, the drama, the pain, just because the world throws it at you. You are more than your reactions. You are more than your anger. You are more than the storms that come and go. You are calm. You are deep. You are steady. And now, you are free. From this moment forward, may you never lose your peace again, not for anything, not for anyone. May your silence become your strength. May your calmness become your confidence. May your wisdom become your way of life. And whenever the world tries to pull you into chaos, pause, breathe, and remember who you are. You do not belong in the noise. You were born for something greater: peace, purpose, and quiet power. So stay still. Stay true. Keep rising silently. Because sometimes, the loudest thing you can ever say is nothing at all. Thank you for watching. I am proud of you. From my heart to yours, may God bless you with strength, with peace, and with a life no reaction can destroy. Take care of your mind. Protect your soul. And never forget, you are not weak for staying calm. You are powerful beyond words. Until next time, stay strong, stay silent, stay free.